what's supposed to happen to the day for Aries? It says it told them people that they shouldn't have no fear today, and that they have the power to cut through just about anything. So why Aries can do that and the Cancer can't, or why Aries can do that but a Sagittarius can't, or Aries can do that but a Taurus can't. You see what I'm saying? It's just stupid. Hold on, what they supposed to do tomorrow? Things in the love and the beauty department should start going right. They just lying. This is a lie. They are lying to y'all. This is a lie. They are lying. What R. Kelly said, he was like, this is stupid, guys. This is stupid. These people are lying to y'all. They have an editor and writer and a ghostwriter, some like me, to get there and just make up stuff that sound good and sound cute. What's up, y'all? So, look, let me just go ahead and keep it short with you. Did you know that as of 2024, the United States has a literacy problem? 21% of adults cannot read, and 54% of them have been recorded, and it has been documented read below a 6th grade level. That is a catastrophe. But that's where I step in. Now, I'm not going to teach the grown folks how to read and write. However, PSA, the Ghostwriting Solution, has now a new package. It's called the Literacy Liftoff, and it caters to 9th through 12th graders who struggle with reading, writing, and comprehension. This new tutoring service will offer vocabulary skills, teaching students how to literally write from the bottom, literally teaching them how to do an introduction paragraph, how to do a hook, how to do a conclusion, how to add a little razzle dazzle, and how to add their own personal touch to it. Okay. Now, you know what you're saying. Well, Izzy, that's what they go to school for. Absolutely. But as an ex-teacher, the teachers just don't have time. So this program has 3 different packages from 3 different sets of hours that you can take. So if you're an AP, a principal, the student who needs help, the parent of the student, or you just know somebody who needs the help. If you're in the Houston area, you can get in-person tutorials. But if you are not in Houston, there are also virtual options offered as well. So hit me up at my email, theprodigyperspective@gmail.com, and or psathepodcast.com, and we will hook you up. What's going on, y'all? All right, so back like I never left. Last week's Impatient episode, we did it up. Y'all liked it. So many people gave me great feedback. We done with the first track. We was able to do the live stream this week, and a lot of good stuff went on this week. So I'm pretty good and pretty excited about that. And as well as we keep going through the layers, unpacking the layers of this EP. Yeah, it's going good. It's going pretty good. I like where we're going with it. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So today's episode is about zodiac signs, astrology. Looking back, how ignorant of me. Instead of saying why you in the zodiac signs, I should have said why you in astrology. But in reality, as people, how many people gonna be like, why are you in astrology? I mean, they might say it like that, but I did it this week, so you know what this means. We're gonna say why you in the zodiac signs, And honestly, none of us should be doing it, but most of the times when you think about it, you think of like a woman who's really just like, you see them women like they be at brunch and things in different places, and they'll be like, yeah, so well, with Gemini's in this situation, or yeah, well, with a Scorpio in this situation, or you tell somebody, and this person did this, and the response was, well, they're a Virgo. No, that's a character flaw. I ain't even 5 minutes in, I'm already starting up. That's a character flaw. Stop justifying character flaws with horoscopes and zodiac signs and astrology. It's a character flaw. It's just, that's it. And too many people, mainly women, but too many people, and men do it too, justify these terrible behaviors with the zodiac sign. Nah, you need some accountability. And they also, I ain't even 5 minutes in yet, y'all. And we also use zodiac signs to, so we ain't got to take accountability. We just be like, oh, well, that's just what us Aries do. You need a new character. You need a new character. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first thing for the day. For the meme this week reads, as a man, why are you so into zodiac signs? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's get into the inspirations. Inspirations will first come from, people who they be like, they always want to know the future. If y'all never find that weird, people always want to know like the future, like they never want to, what's the word I'm looking for? They never, so there's nothing wrong with wanting to know the future. I guess, I feel like it's a common, desire, I guess you could say, or, it's a, most people want to know what's going to happen next, right? I don't think there's an issue with that. But when you try to find it out on your own and illegally, and you're going to get as high, it's illegal in a minute, but you try to do it illegally and you try to do it from an angle of, above its time, I think that's when it becomes an issue. And then it's childish, but I think about those Zodiac Sign songs. Tyrese got one where he was like the signs of love making, and he broke down what all the people do, in the bed. That's what he would say. Um, and then y'all girl Beyonce, she had this song with Missy Elliott back in the day. And she was like, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Gemini, Cancer. Oh, remember that song? And then she was like scatting at the end. She was like, midnight. And part of the song. If you know the song, I wish I could play it. But if you know what I'm talking about, she was like, midnight. Go listen to that song today when y'all get a chance and go tell me so y'all can hear what I'm talking about, because she was definitely scatting. She was scatting. I wonder well, Missy Elliott was on that song, so she might have helped produce it too. I don't know. I got to go look at the credits. But my thing was in some of these songs, who told them that was all right? Like, even when I think about Plies, when he was like, put your number in my phone. Remember that? I be wondering, like, what certain songs do. And I do know that people do that. And then it just be kind of happening. Sometimes the best things that happen are stuff that wasn't on purpose, or it just kind of happened that way. So maybe that's what it was. But those are the inspirations for this week. So there's that. All right, y'all. Before we get too deep into the zodiac signs, I have another conversation that I want to have that needs to be had. So let's jump into it. This week's happy hour. Now, veneers and wigs are the same thing. Veneers and wigs are the same thing. How? They're both fake. They're both unnecessary. And they both have taken the world by storm. Like, it's almost like people be like, oh, you don't wear wigs? Like, oh, you don't have veneers? And the thing is, with veneers, I know people that say they finna get some, and it's just like, bro, brush your teeth. Go to the dentist. Like, it's a shame that I guess some of these, because the thing is, some people may have like little gaps and stuff in their teeth, and all of that can be fixed. Why are we so quick? Now, the whole wig thing, I ain't really tripping off the wig thing. Honestly, I just said that for like just talk. Like, I'm really more so talking about veneers, because wigs don't be looking like. I mean, it's funny. You did see that meme where it was like, oh, remember we used to laugh at our grandma wig. Now look at us. Granted, it ain't the grandma wig, because the grandma wig looked like it don't look like it came from a human head. But at least these new ones, the wigs are like the girls be wearing now, that they be looking nice. You can't always tell unless but so we ain't talking about them for real. I'm really talking about them veneers. Here's my issue with veneers. I get they say like, oh, they don't have to shave your teeth down, and I get that, but a lot of the times they do. And yes, some people needed them. Some people needed them. So if you needed them, this is not at you because you needed them. Because you're gonna say you ain't a dentist, you can't tell me I didn't need them. You needed them, you needed them, you needed them. Okay, boom. But a lot of these people don't need them. They just need to brush and floss and use mouthwash. All the things I don't know why people have just gotten lazy. These same people will try to talk bad about people for wanting to get BBLs and things and say, man, just work out. Well, then they can spit it back at them and say, well, then you trying to get veneers, go brush. Your teeth ain't even that bad. Go get Invisalign. People don't want to do all that. They're lazy. This is a lazy generation. And I'm tired of it. Veneers is done for. And I'm interested to see how y'all teeth gonna look in 20 years. Like I said, some people's teeth was already chewed up and messed up, so it's like might as well get the veneers. But a lot of y'all don't need that. A lot of y'all don't need it, and a lot of y'all don't need it. And it's unfortunate that y'all got it. And so even with this, somebody gonna get offended. What's the one girl that was on one of them shows and she talked about her mouth hurts every day? Not saying that that's everybody's story because it's not. I have enough, I'm well aware to know like that ain't everybody's story. But in the same breath, it just gets to the point where it's like, bro, y'all not doing this because you really need them. You're doing it because it's a trend, and you like, I wouldn't mind having nice big coarse white teeth. Now somebody said they're gonna get some. They said, well, I'm gonna get them in medium. Do they do that? I don't know. I need a veneerologist to come tell me, do they do veneers in medium or small? Because everybody ain't got big mouths. Everybody mouth, you know what I'm saying? So I need a veneerologist to get in here and let me know. Do they do them in small and medium? And also, too, the veneer people who actually put them in, I'm not trying to take y'all business. All I'm saying is, which I do know there are some licensed professionals who will tell people like, I'm not doing that for you. You don't need that. But for the ones that's taking people money, like the ones who was doing the basement butt shots to the girls, and then now they got all that stuff in their body. So just trying to make a dollar. I'm talking to them people. You gonna meet your maker. I'm not saying you gonna die, and I'm not wishing death on you. But what I'm saying is you gonna get got. Something gonna happen because you taking people money and been getting performing surgeries on them that they don't even need. All right. All right, so that's enough of that for the day. Now let's go and jump into the real topic for the day, which we know is the case study. So now we're going to be talking about zodiac signs and things. And so first I'm going to talk about a Sweden study. And this Sweden study I'm actually going to add in here right now as I read it, because I'm going to read it first and then I'm going to put it in so that y'all can read it too. All right. Whoop. Am I going to put it in? Okay, here we go. All right, bet. So it says a new Swedish study shows that people who believe in astrology tend to be less intelligent and more narcissistic. Now, we know narcissistic is the word of the year. It's been probably the word of the year. But my thing with that is, I believe wholeheartedly that another word or another nerve for narcissist is pride. I don't diagnose people as narcissists because, like I said, people learn a new word and then they just can't shut up about it. But what I will say is, it is very like the whole less intelligent thing. I'm not going to dig people and say they're less intelligent, but I will say that you are a little ignorant. I can say that because, and maybe is that technically less intelligent? Maybe, but I will say you're a little just to think that your identity is limited. And I'm gonna get more in depth to that, but you believe that your identity is limited to some horoscopes and the day you was born. I just think it's wild. But I'm gonna give my take on that in a minute. The next is we're gonna dissect for the case study is I actually have an article. So let me go to the article and I'm gonna read the part that I want to read. All right. Okay, so this is what I liked. Now, I don't agree with the whole article, but this is just kind of giving you a backstory of kind of how astrology came to be what it was. All right. So it says that zodiac signs and astrology date back to the ancient Middle East and Greece. Royalty looked to the stars for information on potential future disaster or successes. But astrology has had a resurgence in the 20th century when newspapers started printing horoscope columns. Some people pair astrology with the use of tarot cards to gain sight. So keep that in mind because we're going to talk about that a little later. Astrology and tarot cards, they go hand in hand. You don't need one to do the other, but they do feed off each other. And actually, I do think to an extent you need both. So, because see, the how astrology can help. We ain't getting into that. It says you might think fewer people than ever will look to the stars for guidance with modern technology and science, but that's not the case. In 2017, the Pew Research Center found that almost 30% of Americans believe in astrology. The American Federation of Astrologers estimates the number of Americans who read their horoscope every day to be as high as 70 million, about 23% of the population, according to Miss Smithsonian Magazine. And finally, the question so much isn't if astrology is real, but what impact believing, reading, or practicing is it on one's well-being? And is there a place for astrology and psychotherapy? Okay, so now we're gonna get out of that because, like I said, I don't agree with the whole article, but I more so got that part down because it's a part that we do have that's in the episode we'll get into. But also, I wanted to get into what's the word I'm looking for? We're gonna get into that part, but also I wanted it as a just to give a background of where it came from. Now, so I have one video today we're going to dissect from different parts, not the whole video, and I actually have it in 3 different tabs to see if we can make it, this part go a little quicker. So let's see if that works. So let me go to the first part of this, and it's a video. Now, some people might try to turn it off because the man is a Christian man discussing his take on the zodiac signs in the Bible. So people might, I ain't trying to hear this, but this still is a faith-based podcast. So even though we know my beliefs and my stances, and I know everybody ain't the case, but that's what you're getting here. But also, before you rule it out, even if you ain't a believer, just listen to what he got to say, because I'm telling you, he dropping some gems.
Have to look at what it really is first. Zodiac signs are constellations that appear in the sky over a calendar year. People would look at it and believe in horoscopes to tell them their future. They are basically forecasts about things in their future, like relationships, work, health, and finances. Is this a sin? Of course it is. It is just like going to see a fortune teller, putting your trust in this kind of higher power in stars where it tells you the future, or you think it does, instead of trusting God as the only higher power in your life. Deuteronomy 18 verse 10 to 14. There shall not be found among you anyone who burns his son or his daughter as an offering, anyone who practices divination or tells fortunes or interprets omens, or a sorcerer. Verse 11.
Okay, so that's the first part. Now, even with that, like, that's just giving you more of a background on it, or background. I keep saying back down, but rundown, I should say with that. And even like he says, we ain't getting into the this sin, because then it'll be like, well, this is sin. We're not doing that. But just giving you a background on kind of what's going on with it. And then you see he even talked about how it aligns with like fortune telling, and we shouldn't be doing that at all. And even y'all don't understand the dangers of the whole fortune teller thing. And I get, and let's get to the next part, because it's another part of the video too we're gonna get to. So like I said, just want to give the quick little breakdown. Now let's get to this part.
November or December, you go and you're like, all right, what's going to happen in this month? These things are very vague. Anyone who read it, something there could probably happen to them. Not only that, you're also opening yourself up to demons. You're giving the devil a foothold in your life because you're believing a lie. And if you believe this lie, some demons can try to make some of these things true in your life. It's like going to a fortune teller. Don't do it. Some fortune tellers, they're just liars. They just pretend. But there are some who get their powers from demons.
Okay, boom. So another example there. So even with that, I like how he said the stuff is very vague. It is. Y'all zodiac signs will say, oh, you gonna eat chicken today. I'm what? I'm gonna eat chicken today. You was gonna eat chicken anyway. You got a food addiction. You eat probably some form of chicken every day anyway. You knew you was gonna do that. Or it'd be like, you're going to use the bathroom today. Get ready. Oh my God. I gotta go to the bathroom. The Zodiac signs, I gotta go to the bathroom. What's another one that y'all believe that's them was real vague, but that's another vague one that I think that y'all really do. When the Zodiac signs, it'll say something like, oh yeah, you're going to have a important phone call today. Be ready. You know you avoiding that bill that you missed out on. That's what you know that they was gonna call you anyway. You was avoiding paying that bill. Because we all done been there. The bill that you laid on and they keep calling you trying to see what's up and you just ignored it on purpose. That's the one. You knew they was gonna call. You knew that was gonna happen anyway. It's like, why is you giving your energy to stuff that's vague? And don't get it twisted. I do believe in some instances, I'm playing devil's advocate, where it might be something that's like perfectly aligned to your life in that moment, but you still shouldn't give leeway to that and full power to that. Let's go to the next one because and it's the last one. It's the same video, just the final clip. Now, I think this one is the best one.
Now, something to think about. Jacob and Esau, they were twins, right? Meaning they were born under the exact same star sign, but their characters, they were two different people. Their lives were totally different. So you can't convince me with star signs. My father, he was one of twins. My brother, he has two twin daughters. And let me tell you, there's nothing similar about their lives. Zodiac signs, they are wrong. Don't look at them. It's unbiblical. Proverbs 3.
Okay, so boom. So now even with that, how two people born on the same day, same mom and daddy, same star sign, totally different. A lot of times y'all justifies people's, again, like I said earlier, BS behaviors or even good behaviors and good traits with, oh, well, they're doing this because they're this. So what's the explanation between all those twin examples he's given? What's the explanation for that? I think I know what they're gonna hit with. You know, when they'll be like, oh, they have the same star sign or the same sign, but then the difference is, oh, like the Cancer rising and like the Jupiter moon sitting or something like that. I don't know none of that stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. Where it's like they have like a Leo rising, so I'm on the cusp of a Cancer and this, so that's why. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! This is foolishness. This is stupidity. And this is only the intro. I really ain't even gave y'all the full meat of this episode yet. So that's the case study for today. Now, let's go ahead and jump to the next portion of this episode, which is QTNA, questions that need addressing. Now, the first question, why y'all want to be psychic so bad? I don't know if we grew up in the era, because you know our generation grew up with That's So Raven, and you know we seen all her antics, and it was a great show of her being a teenage psychic and seeing things come to pass, and then her trying to stop things, which is a great. Keep that in mind too, because we're gonna discuss that part too. Well, how she would see things come to pass, and she would just basically have to prepare for it. Now, people, I don't know if that's why you want to be psychic so bad, or you want to know the future so bad. And you know, I can't stand when people be like, "Oh, I knew this was going to happen," and don't get it twisted. I had them moments, but the thing is, I'm not using suspicion. I'm using discernment. I'm gonna get into that in a minute too. But I think people want to be psychic so bad because in reality, people look up to people who can see the future. Let's call it what it is. We've seen that in biblical times a lot, especially like they would look up to the prophets and the psychics, which we're going to give a breakdown of that too. There are two different sources, same gift, two different sources. I hope I'm saying that right. Same gift, different sources. And so, yeah, I think I said that right. But we're going to get into that in a minute. So then, again, I say, is there anything wrong with wanting to know the future? It's going to be answered during the challenge section. No. It's not nothing wrong with wanting to, but when you try to go and find out and try to make things happen so that you can know, I think so. I think that's the issue, but I'm gonna go more in depth later. And then obviously the final question is it feminine for a man to be in astrology? I say yes, because I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of weird a little bit. Not gonna lie. All right, so now let's get into the definitions for that 4. The first one is astrology, the study of movements and relative positions of celestial bodies interpreted as having influence on human affairs in the natural world. The next definition is intuition, the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. Suspicion, a feeling of thought that something is possible, likely, or true. And then discernment, which is the ability to judge well. So keep that in mind with that for today. All right, y'all. Now let's jump into the next segment, which is everyone's favorite and how we stay relevant with the title of this podcast. What does this have to do with mental health? All right. So now the first thing is external loss of control. So according to Very Well Mind, the psychology behind why we care about astrology can appeal to individuals who have an external locus of control, meaning they attribute their successes and failures to outside forces rather than their own actions. This can lead to dependency on astrological predictions and a diminished sense of personal agency, potentially affecting one's ability to cope with life's challenges and reducing motivation to making proactive changes in their life. So again, obsessing over the future can be very dangerous and it can be very draining. And even we see here, people attribute everything in their life to, oh, this happened because, I'm cursed. So, and that could possibly be true, but there's ways to break curses. Let's throwing it out there. We say that for another day. But, they focus on, my star sign said this is going to happen today. Oh, that I saw a shark on. They said Geminis today, you're going to run into a shark. And, I'm a Gemini, so this is going to happen. And oh my God. And it's never you got in trouble. You said, oh, they told me something bad was gonna happen today. You got written up at work because you're late every day. You stopped to go get Chick-fil-A, knowing you don't need nothing else to eat in the morning. You could have a fasted morning. You could not eat that morning, but you got in your zodiac sign told you you're gonna have a bad day, but you was gonna have one anyway because you already. Here's the thing. It's a faulty foundation, right? So it makes it easy for you to come in agreement with these vague truths and or alternative facts. Like I did that there. Like I said with that example, you already knew you was late to work on a regular basis. So you got into your Gemini, your horoscope for the day said you was gonna get in trouble. Or another one, because I remember years ago when I used to really be in agreement with like the horoscopes, and I remember it was someone that was like, it told me it was like I was about to have something very dangerous was coming my way. Yeah, something dangerous coming your way. I came into agreement with that. So now it really can make it manifest, but also you was running your mouth about stuff. So yeah, of course something bad about to happen because you was talking too much. So now you made it all just aligned. And they talk about the stars align. Yeah, they align. You aligned them with some BS. But it was what you was doing too. And again, people, like it says, external locus of control. So you allowed the predictions to come into reality, but also in the same breath, like it says, you don't take accountability for your actions. And that's the main thing. Which goes to the next point, which says dependency and avoidance. The healthy knows that while astrology can provide comfort and validation, it also leads to reliance on these tools for making decisions. The dependency can prevent individuals from seeking necessary professional help and developing healthier coping mechanisms. It might also cause them to avoid addressing underlying issues directly, which can exacerbate mental health issues over time. So you hear people say stuff like, well, I don't answer the phone after 9 o'clock because I'm a Sagittarius. Or maybe you may say something dumb like the horoscope told you, like, oh, don't answer the phone. Or like, say something to the extent of, you're going to get a phone call today with bad news. So then your dumb self say, well, I'm just not going to answer the phone. You're an idiot. That's stupid. But people do stuff like that. And the thing is, you think people don't do stuff like that because they don't say it out loud. Some of them do. It's somebody that's doing it. They're like, well, my horoscope said I'm going to get a bad phone call, so I'm just not going to answer the phone. And then idiot, then they're going to text you. Stupid. But again, you're relying on this outside source to make decisions. And we have in the video, it didn't show up because it said I had watched the video, obviously. And it said a comment like, we worship creation and not the creator. Right? A lot of things can be avoided if you just make better decisions. And then even the next one, like people are like, I'm an Aries, so I'm gonna cuss you out and then cry right afterward. Should no man be saying that? I'm gonna just say that. And nobody else gonna say that. I'm saying, should no man be saying like, well, I'm this, so that's why I did that, to make an excuse for an emotional and response because you can't control your emotions. Like, nah, you shouldn't be doing that, homie. That's not okay. And if ain't nobody gonna tell you, let me tell you, you might be like, you can't tell me that, but see, that's your problem too. Y'all get caught up in the messenger and not the message. But they told you the truth, you just didn't want to hear it from them. And I'm a firm believer God will send you people on purpose that's gonna irritate you to tell you something, but because it's them, you're not gonna listen. Boom, it's perfect timing, y'all. Perfect alignment. Yeah. Emotional instability. According to Knowledge Voyeur, individuals who are highly sensitive to astrological predictions may experience heightened emotional responses, including anxiety and stress, especially if the predictions are negative or unsettling. This sensitivity can lead to mood swings and feelings of helplessness, impacting overall emotional well-being. Stop using astrology to justify your uncontrollable emotions. Stop using astrology. Like, I'm sure somebody who read a bad sign for the day, a horoscope for the day, and then and their whole mood was ruined. Like, they probably woke up, they might have prayed, they might have been on a fast, and then they go see somebody horoscope which cancels, and then they go read somebody their horoscope, they're a Cancer. Then now they're gonna read this and they say, yo, if you're a Cancer, be prepared to die. Something wild and crazy. You just got out of talking with God. You didn't been doing good with your diet. Then the horoscope say, be prepared to die. And you gonna forget everything God said, but believe that horoscope. And y'all gonna say the whole thing that be prepared to die was extreme. But they be saying extreme stuff like that. Have y'all read them? I should have got a few of them today. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm finna look it up. And I'm gonna look up the one that ain't from around my birthday either. Let's see. I'm finna look it up just see what it say. I'm hella funny. This was not playing, y'all. So let's say horoscope for Aries. What's supposed to happen to the day for Aries? It says it told them people that they shouldn't have no fear today and that they have the power to cut through just about anything. So why Aries can do that and the Cancer can't, or why Aries can do that but a Sagittarius can't, or Aries can do that but a Taurus can't. You see what I'm saying? It's just stupid. Hold on, what they supposed to do tomorrow? Things in the love and the beauty department should start going right. They just lying. This is a lie. They are lying to y'all. This is a lie. They are lying. What R. Kelly said, he was like, this is stupid, guys. This is stupid. These people are lying to y'all. They have an editor and writer and a ghostwriter, some like me, to get there and just make up stuff that sound good and sound cute. Did you see that video? It was a movie. I can't remember the movie. And it was a movie, and it was like, what did it say? It was a movie, and they showed behind the scenes of like an Asian or like a Chinese restaurant, and they showed people behind the scenes typing up fortune cookies, just typing up anything. And I think even they just like looked at something and just typed up a bunch of different ones. That is what these horoscopes are. Y'all are being fooled and blinded, and y'all cannot see it. And anybody that identifies as an Aries, please don't come into agreement with that, because it'll say love is on the horizon. And you're a terrible person. If love actually did come today or that day, you would ruin it, because you're not ready for that, because is a lot of stuff you ain't worked through yet. Last one for mental health. Impact on relationships. Astro Talk highlights the excessive belief in astrology can influence personal relationships, as individuals might make significant decisions based on astrological compatibility rather than personal interactions and mutual understanding. Can't wait for this one. This can lead to unrealistic expectation and conflicts in relationships, which can further affect mental health. So, people, we know this happens all the time. Like, oh, you a Gemini? Oh, I'm a Leo, so we gonna butt heads. We gonna butt heads. We gonna butt heads off general, because you really said, first of all, you said that stupid stuff, but we're gonna butt heads in general off the fact of you really in here. I feel like you'll probably intentionally try to butt heads with me just off the fact of my star sign says this and you identify as a Leo. I don't identify as the Gemini. I identify as a child of God. Y'all let everybody else identify how they want to. But when somebody say they don't want to identify with a zodiac sign, they're delusional. Like, that pisses me off. Like, y'all are ridiculous. But also, let me say this. These dudes out here, I'm 1,000% sure that y'all trying to manipulate women into sex and dating. And y'all think y'all slick and y'all not. And I'm calling y'all out today. Y'all try to manipulate these women into sex and dating, or they'll be like, oh, we ain't gonna be good friends because you a Capricorn. We can't be good friends because our stars don't match. I ain't never met a Gemini man I ain't like, or I ain't never met a Virgo woman I got along with. Shut up. Shut up. And the thing is, people in here trying to manipulate people with the whole sex thing. Like, I'm sure the dudes have been like, well, you know what they say about Scorpios. You know what they say about Scorpios. You telling the woman, you know what they say. Nigga, you don't even know what they say. You just trying to get somebody to match your freak. That's all it is. You freaked out and you manipulative. And I'm calling it out today on here, the PSA, the Mental Health Podcast. Now, let's jump into the next section, shall we? Because I'm still not done letting y'all have it. I told y'all the beginning was just a warm-up. This the real thing. I challenge that. Girl. Again, like I said, and getting back to it, so we're going to challenge the narrative with the whole horoscopes and zodiac signs and things. Again, wanting to know the future in itself is not bad. Wanting to be in tune with yourself spiritually is not bad. Again, the horoscopes are the false version of that. But I will say, from the positive end of that, of coming into agreement with what God says about you, it can positively impact your mental health. So let's go through that. So, enhance motivation and goal setting. So, according to the power of future thinking for healthy living from Very Well Mind, it says positive future thinking can significantly enhance motivation and goal achievement. Visualizing and planning for a positive future encourages individuals to engage in behaviors that help them reach their goals. It then says this proactive approach fosters a sense of purpose and direction, which can lead to higher well-being and reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. The second one is improved stress management and mental resilience. It says in the article, How to Be Optimistic When the World Around You Isn't, it says it is noted that cultivating optimism helps individuals manage stress and build mental resilience. By focusing on positive future outcomes and setting realistic goals, individuals can create a structured approach to handle stress effectively. It says this mindset promotes optimism and forward-thinking attitude, which are essential for maintaining a healthy mental state. Now, back to that. What I read earlier about the horoscope, about the Aries things, right? In reality, although it's a whole bunch of hoopla, what I can appreciate about it is encouraging optimism. You don't need a horoscope to encourage optimism, though. That's what I want y'all to understand. You can naturally be optimistic in general. You don't need that for that. So, because again, what will happen is it's kind of like the phrase where they say, if you live by the praise, you'll die by the criticism. So if you truly align with your horoscope and your zodiac sign, and you're an Aquarius, that's how Young Miami said. If you align with that, when it's good is good, it's bad is bad. So you're gonna be because what'll happen is what some of y'all do is y'all will read it for when it's good. But then when it say something bad, now you come out of agreement with, no, it's in your bio on Instagram. The Aquarius demon staring at you like this. It's squatting in your life like this. Because you just said you are Aquarius on Instagram. Everywhere you go, you tell people, you repost them posts that you agree with of your terrible behavior, where it says, as an Aquarius, this is what I do, or this is Aquarius. Now, when the horoscope say something bad, like, oh, okay, Aquarius, be prepared to go 10 days without having cash in your bank account. Now, I come out of agreement with that. Now you speaking in tongues and rebuking stuff. No. See, that's why the alarm went off, because it knew what's up. Because now it's too late. See, now the Aquarius, that demon like this. Nope. You ain't worked that covenant, so I'm still here. Nope. It ain't going nowhere, because you sat up here and it came to agreement with stuff. You can't pick. You can't have both. I equate this to jobs with me. Either I'm there every day, or I'm there every day, or I'm on time. You can't have both. The third one is better emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility. The article called How Learned Optimism Can Improve Your Life. It discusses mindfulness practices, often part of self-tuning, improve emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility. Mindfulness can help individuals become more aware of their thoughts, feelings without judgment, leading to better emotional control and adaptability in various situations. It then says this can enhance overall mental well-being. So let's go to the next part of this. So now we're talking, still in the challenge section. I want to talk about the things that I brought up briefly earlier. So the first thing is that we talk about people wanting to know the future. And you may have say, well, Izzy, you claim to be a believer, you claim to be, a Christian or whatever. And you know for a fact that people in the Bible foretold the future, because people are quick to say when people speak against stuff, people say, well, they did that in the Bible. But my thing is, and I'm going to ask this question before I answer that we say that's our quick defense when people say things we don't agree with or something we haven't studied. Let me ask you this. Would you take advice on somebody about physics on a book they may have skimmed through somewhat or never really read like that? I know the answer is no. So why would you listen to somebody give advice on the Bible when they haven't really read it and studied? Now, don't get it twisted. It is a book you can read and let it, encourage you in things, but that's something you need to actually study. And a lot of times these people who had those theories didn't study it. So that's my take on that. But watch this. From positivelypsychic.com, it gives the difference between what is known as a psychic and what is known as a prophet. So, and I said this a little earlier. So, a prophet is a person believed to be chosen by God to speak to his will and spread his teachings, while a psychic is considered to have the ability to perceive information hidden from the normal senses of sight, hearing, touch. Psychics can use various techniques such as oral reading, intuitive diagnosis, and distant healing and spirit communication. Before I get on that, the thing with psychics too is they're not always right. The things with prophets is if they're not a false one and they're actually listening to God for real, they're going to be accurate. Not saying that they can't miss it either. They might have been too in their flesh, but they listening to God, because even it was a psychic. I watched the show The Circle. It was a psychic on there, and she was like eliminated first. I'm like, you ain't see that? I think she was eliminated first or second or something crazy. I'm like, you ain't see that? You ain't know that was gonna happen? But I can't say, because even going and not even trying to be funny, but sometimes going on those shows, even just for a few episodes, can bring awareness to your brand. So, hey, but I was just like, and I might go watch interview her, see if she knew that she was gonna go out first, because she said she got a psychic hit about something with somebody else. So, All right. So now let's keep going. Prophets hear from God, psychics hear from the devil, and yes, the devil, not your ancestors. That's another thing. We're attacking that today. Stop praying to your ancestors. They cannot hear you. Your ancestors cannot hear you. They are dead. Your great, and this is my thing too, and I said this before and I say it again. This episode's stepping on a lot of toes. I already feel it, but and don't the whole tips and the woke folk don't come here talking about some I'm lost. Cool, I'm lost. Fine, I'll take it. But the thing with the whole ancestor thing is, half of y'all don't like the family that's alive. So if you don't like your family that's walking on this earth and go to and will blatantly say, I've heard people say, oh, I don't F with my family. But you rock with the ancestors, though. You rock with the ancestors in your bloodline, but you don't rock with the ones that's alive. They come from the same people. And I get it. People and families are totally different. But the point that I'm making is, besides that they can't hear you, you're sitting up here. How do you know that this ancestor that you're praying to is you would like them? I'm not even a math person, but it's a probability thing. If you don't like the 40 that's here, why would you like? What's the chances that you would like the ones that's dead? That's from the same bloodline. I'm just asking, and I want to answer. If you don't give me answers, because I made sense. If you were so in tune like you say you are, and it's just a question, why are you still in the same place you've been 10 years ago? So many people, why ain't nothing ever working for you? You so knowledgeable and you are a God and you're this and you're that. Okay, cool. You got that. I'll let you have that. You have free will, you can say and claim to be what you want to be. You got it. But why are you still in the same place after 10 years? Why are you still never able to figure out that your future, not able to figure out your future? Why are you stuck in the same place? Why are you still struggling mentally? Why are you still struggling emotionally? If you got everything together and you are this superior being yourself, I have questions. Why are you still struggling? Why are you still doing the same stuff you was doing at 20 at 50? If you got it all together, why don't nothing ever work for you? Why do you keep on doing this and you keep jumping from thing to thing and thinking this is your thing and it ain't, this is your thing and it ain't, and this is your thing and it ain't? If you're this superior being and you know and you got all the answers, because if you got all the answers, then you shouldn't be doing jumping to thing. You should have gotten it figured out. That's just something to think about. I'm sure you're gonna be offended, but that's something to think about. The universe didn't tell you that. The universe cannot talk. You don't have to be a prophet to hear from God, though. You just have to know how he speaks and be ready to listen. And that's the main thing. But you don't have to be a prophet to hear from God. Like, people hear from God all the time. Like, for real, not like the fake way either. So keep that in mind, too. There are always hints. There are always hints. Let me explain what I mean. There are always hints of things to come, but you have to pay attention. So, and they're real subtle. And you have to just pay attention to some things. I'm trying to give a good example right now because it was one I had and I lost it. So I'm gonna come back to that when and if it comes back. Despite all this stuff that I'm saying, I can't accept this about zodiac signs, and this is what I can understand. I can understand when people use them in icebreakers at work. Still shouldn't come into agreement with, but I can see if you like at icebreaker at work and you just trying to quickly learn as much as you can about your coworker for the next school year or the next 5 months or 10 days, depending on how some of y'all are. You know, I get it. I can't understand when reposting stuff on social media sometimes. Like I understand it. Like, oh yeah, you know, as a it's fun to do. I get in some instances, and I get it. I still don't believe you should do it, but I get it. But I'm just leaving that section off with I get it. I understand. All right. So I get it. Boom. Let's go on to the next segment for today, and probably, and I believe the final segment, which is the weekly sabbatical. Now, let's get into some final topics for today. So everybody has intuition, right? Everybody has intuition. And the thing is, people claim that they be knowing stuff. And a lot of times I think we base our intuition off of things that happened in the past because, you know, things are cycles. So if you meet a person that's like this person, you might think they're going to do the exact same stuff. Sometimes that may be true, but we have to go a little deeper than just the 5 senses. Now, this then goes to the next topic, which is the difference between suspicion and discernment. A lot of people have suspicion. I hear people a lot who will be like, and they ain't even into zodiac signs like that at all. And they'll be like, oh, something in my spirit ain't right about this. And a lot of times, not always. I'll say sometimes. I ain't gonna say a lot of times. Some of the times you have suspicion. Like I know people who don't trust anybody. Something ain't right about them. You don't trust nobody. And not saying you should trust everybody, but I pay attention to extremes. I don't listen to people that always think everybody's good people. I don't listen to people that always think everybody the devil. Them two different extremes. Because if you have suspicion, you're never right either. You just talking. But the difference I have is there's a huge difference between suspicion and discernment. So let's break it down. It says, while suspicion is a function of the physical senses, discernment is a purely spiritual matter. That comes from Isaiah 11:3. Naturally, people walk with suspicion, while it says kingdom people walk with discernment. Suspicion you judge by appearance, and discernment you judge by the revelation given to you by the Holy Spirit. So, and this is from suspicion, it's not discernment by Destiny Impact Church. So even with that, like with the next time you get to thinking about something about somebody or a situation, think about where you're getting that idea from. Think about that. Think about where that idea, where that theory is coming from. Just think about it before you're gonna do what you want to do. But I just challenge you to just think about it. Think about where is this coming from and why do I think this is coming up? Then, and just think about the opposites of this as a man. Think about the optics of this. I hear, because I know Pisces are supposed to be really emotional. Like, man, I'm a Pisces, I'm just really, really emotional. That's not an excuse. It's just so many so many examples of situations where people justify just stupidity and foolishness, and again, lack of accountability. Or think of the opposite of saying I'm a Pisces, I don't do that. Think about how that sounds. Think about how that sounds for real. Think about it. So now I have two different versions of the same verse. So the first one is from ESV. It's from 2 Peter 1:21. It says, "For no prophecy was ever produced by the will of man, but men spoke from God as the Holy Spirit carried them along." And then the MSG version says, "The main thing to keep in mind here is that no prophecy of scripture is a matter of private opinion." Why? Because there's nothing concocted in the human heart. Prophecy resulted when the Holy Spirit prompted men and women to speak God's word. So the first was getting to the definition of concocted. This means create or devise a story or plan. And then the example is they concocted a preposterous but entertaining story. Who made that sentence? I don't like that. That's forced. I don't like that. But let's not get out of whack here. The main thing is here with this whole talk about, there's nothing hidden. And the thing is, a lot of times, especially if you're really in tune with God for real, we don't have to be worried, or I mean, we're gonna naturally have to fight against worry and fear and anxiety, right? But in reality, we should be ahead of the game. We should be knowing what's coming up. You see so many people that know what's gonna happen, and don't get it twisted. There's a lot of false people out here, but it's people knowing like we need to prepare for this. We need to prepare for this. They said it in the times of the Bible. That stuff never ended. There are people who are here by God, they hear from God, that are warning of what's to come. So that's why nothing should be a surprise to us. We should know what's gonna happen if you're really in tune like you're supposed to be. So if you just completely you don't know nothing, take that for it. Just take in mind you may not be listening like you're supposed to. But I'm gonna tell you now, them horoscopes not gonna help you prepare for World War III. Them horoscopes not gonna help you prepare for another lockdown. Them horoscopes not gonna help you prepare for a food shortage. Them horoscopes not gonna help you prepare for a blackout. So keep that in mind. We got read two examples today of what they be talking about. So keep that in mind. So you probably think, well, Izzy, we covered a lot today. And, what's some ways to maybe get in touch, align with the future? I'm struggling. I was using this to like kind of help me out. And I don't want to do this. And even if I wasn't really in the horoscopes, I still want to know how to get prepared for the future, how to get into alignment. So I have a few tips, some that work for me, and then I have some that are based on like reputable sources. So let's get into the first one. The first one is simple. There's a lot of scripture in this one. I ain't gonna lie, this is like a sermon today, but it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom." So I believe when I think of that, that's Matthew 6:33, and I think of just the importance of really praying to God first about everything and going to people second. I believe it's a slippery slope with going to people for validation, because a lot of times people don't get the vision you were given. And so they'll speak against it, or maybe add unnecessary doubt in there. Now questioning what you were supposed to do. So I would definitely say ask God first before you do anything else. And even if, I'm the type person to say, even if you are struggling with, maybe you are addicted to zodiac signs, or maybe you just don't think it's that deep, and you are still saying I'm praying and stuff too, but I'm gonna still check on see what the Virgo's doing today. Just seek God first. That's my only suggestion. Just do that. Just do that. The second one is pay attention to the signs and be prepared. Like I just briefly mentioned with the stuff that's coming in the world, things is coming. You have to be prepared. You have to be listening. A lot of y'all not paying attention. So all you gonna hear here on the PSA, if you ain't heard nowhere else, stock up. Start stocking up on food. And even with good stuff, like that's a negative version, but the positive version, like say for instance, if you are maybe getting ready to get married and you might say, ain't nobody in sight, how I'm gonna go get married? And you just never know what God has planned, that you might start getting yourself together now. You may the blatant ones are like, say you got a trip coming up, you want to get your body together, so you finna start going on a little diet. Treat your life kind of like that. Like, you may not have no visible proof of something coming, but you just got a good feeling something good like that is gonna happen. The trip, obviously, that can happen, but just get yourself ready to be prepared. Say, for instance, you're a personality, you're an upcoming TV personality, and maybe you hate your skin, or you hate your body, or something like that, and you want to, and say, for instance, an opportunity of a lifetime may come in 2 weeks. You didn't have no clue, but you can at least start getting things prepared now, as if it's coming, prepared as if it's already done. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So these ones come, and then the third one is know your identity. And know your identity is not limited to your horoscope. I saw something when it's doing the research for this episode, and it talked about like the zodiac signs and things, and it talked about tarot cards, which you seen earlier that they paired the two. And it talked about like there are only 78 cards in the tarot card deck with only 156 possible outcomes. So why would you limit yourself to, you don't think we over here talking about some, I'm not like them, I'm not one of them, and all that good stuff. And some of y'all, I believe that for, right? You ain't one of them, you not like the rest. So then if you're not like the rest, why would you allow yourself to be limited to 156 possible outcomes when you can have a life that's limitless? Partnering, instead of partnering, because you partner with them horoscopes, you could partner with God about you. Won't that sound better? You know what I'm saying? Versus trying to come into seeing what a Scorpio doing today. That's all I'm saying. And as a writer, even myself, those are very vague. It's just like, and the fact that y'all can't see that is outrageous. Now, so this one comes from a source. So it says that embrace creativity and innovation. The article Creativity, the Arts and the Future of Work from Springer Leak emphasizes the importance of creativity and problem solving and personal development. Engaging in activities allows individuals to enter a state of flow characterized by deep concentration and satisfaction. This is not only enhances personal fulfillment, but also prepares young men to tackle future challenges with innovative solutions. Encouraging creativity in everyday tasks and professional endeavors fosters a proactive and adaptive mindset. Don't let a horoscope tell you to be creative today. And the other one is about pursuing and meaningful goals. And we've talked about that before, but how it aligns with this is just by identifying passions and values. Young men can create that resonate with personal aspirations, leading to a more purposeful, exchange, and satisfying life. And again, even with that one, short and sweet and to the point, but identify with your passions, and again, don't let what the Capricorns doing tell you that that's what you should be doing. We have so many examples of people who were born on the same date who are totally different, have different interests, personalities, temperaments, everything. So keep that in mind. Question and challenge for the week. Are you in the zodiac signs? I challenge you to do a deep dive study of them on your own. So after this episode, you still thinking, oh, Izzy, this is a load of hoopla, a load of malarkey. At least if you sat all the way through this, I want you to really go and take what I said and say, let me just do a deep dive and see what's good. Let me just see what's up on my own. You don't feel no way? Cool, that's on you. I can't tell you what to do. But hopefully, you can do a little deep dive. All right, y'all. So this has been a great episode. Back in my actual studio last week, I was at a different location, but I'm back in my home base, and we're going to be in home base next 2 weeks. And that's because the next episode will actually be split into 2 parts, which is about anxiety and featuring a anxiety specialist, and split into 2 parts because it's too much going on. And I want y'all to be able to digest it all. So that's all I got for this week. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what y'all think, because I feel like I touched a lot of idols today. So PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. And remember, I love us for real.